1313C in TFT may have been a mini patch, but it was still big enough to trash Ezreal as a legend. So without further ado, let's go over our top 5 comps for you to try. Our first comp today is Arctic Akshan, which is a spin on the classic Dead Ice comp. It's all about freezing enemy boards and stalling the fights with heavy frontline, allowing your main carry backliner Akshan to snipe down enemy carries with ease. Your full comp will consist of Akshan, Azir, Sejuani, Sion, Jarvan, Nasus, Lissandra and Ashe. And for the legend in this comp, we'd recommend Twisted Fate to get the exact items you need to make this comp pop off. This is a slow roll comp, so focus on hitting level 7 at around the end of stage 3, or stage 4-1 latest, and start rolling for those Akshan copies as well as all those 4-cost units you need in Sejuani, Jarvan, Nasus and Azir. If you see an early copy of Sion, don't hesitate to pick him up too. Akshan's best in-slot items are pure AD, with Runaan's Hurricane Deathblade and Rageblade being fantastic, but Infinity Edge, Giant Slayer or Hand of Justice are also solid options. You also want to get some AP damage onto your secondary carry Azir, with Jeweled Gauntlet and Rapid Fire being amazing choices. Aside from that, make sure to load up your frontline with any defensive items too, with the Protector's Vow and Warmogs being perfect on Sejuani. For your augments, a Freljord Heart or Soul will activate the highest ceiling of the trait, and you'll be stunning the entire enemy board whilst applying true damage and shredding their defensive resistances. Plus, since you invest so heavily into Freljord, the Glacial Breeze augment will fit in just perfectly. Aside from those, a Cut Above will also be a great choice, acquiring that Deathblade to put onto your Akshan and giving you the chance of some extra gold too. Don't forget, we have in-depth video guides for all the strongest S-tier comps you can play with each and every patch, explaining augments, replacement units, the best items to slam and so much more, so click the link in the description to see it for yourself. Comp number 2 is called Spear and Shield, which is one you'll definitely be familiar with by now. This comp is all about the infamous OP Azir who survived yet another patch without any nerfs, and it includes the bird himself, Nasus, Jarvan, Lux, Cassante, Garen, Swain and Talia. And for the legend to play, we'd recommend Vladimir to hit that board power spike sooner. This is a default leveling comp, so ideally you want to save up gold until level 7, where you can then start rolling to find all your 4-cost units Azir, Lux, Jarvan and Nasus. In terms of your items, Azir wants a Rapid Fire Cannon, Jeweled Gauntlet and Guard Breaker, but other items like Rageblade, Gunblade or Giant Slayer are also fine if you can't find those specifics. Then you want to slam as many big defensive items onto your frontline with options like Bramble Vest, Dragon's Claw and Redemption on Nasus, a Protector's Vow onto Jarvan, and any leftover AP items can go onto Lux as your secondary and backup damage carry. For augments, you ideally want to get yourself a Strategist or Shurima emblem with a heart, crest or crown of either trait, as this will allow you to play this comp easier and be more dynamic on what's being contested. Tactical Superiority was also made for this comp, so definitely don't miss out on that one if you do get the chance. Aside from that, any other generally strong augments like Unified Resistance will also help you out too. Next we have comp number 3, which is called Slay All Day. As you would expect, this comp is all about those Slayer units, and you'll run a full Slayer team here and put an emblem onto Katarina to make her your main carry. You'll also have Zed and Gwen as your secondary damage carries, and if you can get these units geared up with items as well as plenty of copies to upgrade them, you'll be a seriously hard board to beat. Your full comp will include Katarina, Zed, Gwen, Aatrox, Darius, Kled and Kayle, and for the legend to play, we'd recommend Twisted Fate again for the ideal items on your carries. Activating Slayer 6 is really what unlocks this comp's high ceiling, but you'd also use a mix of secondary traits like Noxus, Rogue and Juggernaut to bring some extra strength to your melee heavy board. This comp is another slow roll comp, so save up gold above 50 to start rolling and 3-star your main carries Zed and Katarina. For items, Katarina will do best with a Hand of Justice and a Jeweled Gauntlet, alongside that Slayer emblem. Ionic Spark and Giant Slayer are also great options too. Your secondary carry Zed will deal tons of damage with Infinity Edge, Hand of Justice and a Titan's Resolve. And after that you can send any AP leftovers towards Gwen, with Ionic Spark, Jeweled Gauntlet and Gunblade being incredible options. Now for your augments, the most important thing is that you find yourself a Slayer Heart, Crest or Crown, as getting that Slayer emblem onto Katarina is simply crucial to pulling off this comp. Slayer's Resolve is another S-tier augment for this comp, empowering your board with more resistances, and Vampiric Blades will give your units Omnivamp, but also empower your rogues too, which of course are your two main carries and damage dealers Katarina and Zed. Coming in at number 4, we have the Enlightened Ones, which runs with a full Ionia board with Yasuo and Kai'Sa as your main damage dealers. If you can 2-star these carries as well as your main tank Shen, you'll easily have a great chance at that top spot. The full comp consists of Yasuo, Kai'Sa, Shen, Karma, Taric, Set, Warwick and Aurelia. We'd recommend going for the Dragon Legend Aurelion Soul for this one, so make sure you reach high levels to find those 4 cost carries earlier. This is another default leveling comp, so it's all about saving up gold to hit level 7 and finding those main 4 cost units and carries Yasuo, Kai'Sa and Shen. You can use Jhin here as an early item holder for Yasuo, to start building his best items, which are Infinity Edge, Rapid Fire and Edge of Night. After that, work on your Kai'Sa with Jeweled Gauntlet or anything AP that you can find, and then finish off by slamming all tank items onto your Shen. You will definitely want to try and secure an Ionia emblem when playing this comp, so make sure you pick that up if you can find it. Another OP augment for this comp is Sentinel Spirit, which is absolutely lethal when running any full Ionia comp. And aside from that, you can also go for an experience augment like it pays to learn. Finally, we have our last comp of the day, Noxus Empire. This has easily been the most consistent comp of the set so far, being strong right from the start and still one of the best ones to play in 1313C. Now, although you should probably know this one by now, let's whiz through it for all you players new to the set. This comp runs with a heavy Noxus board, aiming to 3-star your Darius and Katarina and use these as your main carries. You'll also want to try and get Swain nice and tanky and find as many copies of him as well along the way. Your full comp consists of Darius, Katarina, Azir, Sion, Nasus, Kled, Swain and Cassiopeia. And for the legend, we'd recommend going for Ornn to make your Noxus carries obliterate enemy boards simply by themselves. Another slow roll comp here, so you want to hit level 7 at around the end of stage 3, so you can start rolling for those Darius copies and Katarina and Swain copies too. But also keep an eye out for any of your 4 cost units, Jarvan, Nasus and Azir. Focus on building Darius' items first, as he'll carry you through the early to mid game and you should easily win streak if you do get him set up with a BT, IE and Titan's Resolve. You can then put anything defensive onto your Swain like a Warmogs and Gargoyle, anything AP onto your Katarina like Jeweled Gauntlet and Arctic Spark, and in the later stages, slam some attack speed onto your Azir. Make sure you pick up a Noxus Heart crest or crown if you can, and put the emblem onto one of your 4 cost units later on. Do not hesitate to secure Total Domination too, as this is just insane on any Noxus comp. Finally, those Ornn Forge augments are obviously great choices too, helping you itemize and increase your board's damage. That's going to wrap up our top 5 comps you have to play this patch from our Challenger experts. If you have found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe to our channel and let's continue climbing together in set 9. Good luck and have fun.